Coming to you live from the Chamber of Haunters Studios, this is Haunting You. I am your host, Leslie Reed.
And I'm Keoni Hutton. Welcome, everyone, back to the Haunting You podcast, and happy March. Holy crap, it's March already. I cannot believe how fast this year is going already. Holy
Yeah, I'm still in December.
You and me both. Oh my gosh, it has been absolutely wild for the last couple of weeks. Really, for the last, the entire year has been absolutely freaking wild. Good news. I just promoted, which was very exciting.
Yes, excellent.
Did you get the pics, Les? I can't remember if I sent them to you or not.
I got the paperwork pic.
Oh, I didn't even send you the pics. I'll have to do that.
You are not allowed onto my desk. You will break my internet. I just got new internet.
It was exciting because my parents were out, completely unrelated, because they came out to see my niece play hockey in the tournament, which they won 4-0. Took the tournament. My niece is the goalie. She's insane. She's 8. Yeah, she's 8 playing goalie. And the way this tournament worked was absolutely freaking wild. If you went up 4 goals against the other team, then they swapped out the smaller net than you were using, and you had to use the giant net that the 10 and under people use. So there was one goal that she just had no chance of saving. They put it just up into the air, and it went right over her head and into the net. And with all the pads that she has on, she can't lift her arms more than shoulder height. She has no hope of catching anything flying over her head. But at one point, they dump the puck all the way from the opposite side of the ice, and this was a very small ring, so I promise it's not as impressive as it sounds. But they dump the puck all the way.
It is when you're 8.
It is when you're 8. Dump it from the other side, and she stops it. It bounces off of her pad, though, right to another player on the other team who shoots it on the other side. And she, with off of one foot, slides across the crease, catches it on her toe. It was Patrick Waugh butterfly style, just absolutely freaking beautiful.
Oh, beautiful.
Absolutely. I was so impressed. I was amazed. Absolutely fantastic. But anyway, my parents were out to enjoy all that. So we're like, hey, let's do the promotion now while they're here. And so it worked out very beautifully. No,
everyone. You did not send me those pictures, and you owe me those pictures.
I will send it to you when we're done recording here tonight. But
you don't want to distract me on top of having the puppies distract me?
You are thoroughly distracted. You don't need more distraction.
No, I don't need help.
But I for good reason, because we have a very special guest here today with us on the Haunting You podcast. It is convention season. And so, in fact, convention season is kicking off this very weekend with the Trans World Halloween and Attraction Show in St. Louis, Missouri, happening this weekend. Go check out Facebook, Haunters Hangout, the Haunting You pages, of course. We are not at Trans World, but I promise you, I will be retweeting. No, I will not be retweeting. I will be regramming. What is the verb for Instagram?
Don't look at me.
I'm too old to know these things. We need
sharing. I don't know.
Sharing. Thank you. we will be resharing everything that we see coming out of Trans World, because it's Trans World, and I'm just super excited to see what they have to show. And we can't be there. Exactly. So we will try to live vicariously through all the people who are there. And if you are there, please tag us in your post, and we will happily send it out to all of our followers so they can enjoy what you are seeing as well. But that is not what we are here to talk about today. We are here to talk about our favorite event. I was going to say convention. It's not exactly convention. It is so much more than a convention. It is a music festival. It is a bunch of vendors. It is a haunted house. They have so much going on. They are in their 3rd year. We have Roseann Harpold from Hauntfest back with us here tonight. Roseann, how are you doing? Welcome back.
Doing great. How are you guys doing?
I am so excited to be talking with you today.
Excited to be here.
Hauntfest has just done so well. You were coming into your 3rd year and watching your growth from year 1 to year 2 and hopefully into year 3. Tell us about.
You guys have some fantastic new things that you've got going on with year 3, which I'm really, really excited to hear about.
Let's start first by talking about year 2. How did your last Hauntfest go down in Athens, Georgia, compared to year 1?
So year 1, it was just a single day, and it was kind of a crazy fluke that it even happened, that there even was the first event, and we had about 500 people come to that. And then the second year,
that's
more
solid
than
for year 1.
That's
really good.
Holy crap.
And so everyone, I guess, told their friends they had a great time, even though it was just, some kid, me, who didn't know what the hell they were doing, throwing something together. And so it went so well that we ended up, doing it again. And that growth was insane. And we're already seeing growth for this third year that's extensive. I know we had over 70 vendors. We had like 72 vendors, I want to say, for last year's event. And we're still, weeks in advance. And we are already, up to that number again. So I think
Holy moly.
The event, we're going to be having anywhere, I don't know, we could hit 100 vendors this year. So I'm interested to see,
that's fantastic.
What happens. But, we've had even entertainer applications. We already have more than 70 that I've got to go through and listen to all the bands and see all the performers and, figure out the lineup for this year. But we are very excited to be returning and have so many returning people and more. They're all bringing people now.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I remember you tried out a few new things last year. And like what comes to mind immediately was the fire pits, s'mores, authors doing like spooky storytelling. What was the highlight for you of the new stuff that you tried for your second Hauntfest?
That's tough. I will say the author thing was awesome.
Yeah.
So I have a friend in town with me who helps a lot with some of the events, and she's super into books and reading, and to the point that she never sets one down. And so she brought that idea to the table, which I never would have thought of on my own, is to do those ghost stories. And for people who do that for a living or for like a really extensive hobby of writing, so
Unless you know something about
I really thought that was an awesome
never.
addition, and plan to continue doing that, for as long as we do this. And I also wasn't sure, that year, last year, if people were gonna want us to
be popular.
Like I didn't know. And then, I mean, they had huge crowds coming to listen, and some are even catering to kids. And so Sundays now we're doing like family friendly days instead of doing when you hit a certain time of the night, which is what we did last year. So that's a little different. But so for days like that, it's especially perfect for, spooky authors who cater to children to read their children's books. Like it just works so well. Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Something else I have to
that's definitely one of my favorite additions. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Something else I have to ask about. We had I'm going to say lengthy discussion about dangling people by their skin. I forget what it was called.
Oh yeah, the one of your performing
They're called
groups.
cyanide suspension.
Cyanide
Yeah.
suspension.
Yeah,
Cyanide suspension.
Did they end up coming?
Yeah. So they did so between the last Athens event and now, we've had 2 out-of-state events. And so they came to the North Carolina event, which was in Arden, it's close to Asheville.
Okay.
And they hung there. It was crazy. It's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. And it was so interesting. Like the venue was a Lutheran church camp.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And there's this huge cross in the background, and they're just hanging and bleeding. It was crazy.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Crazy stuff.
No,
shout out to them, because that venue was awesome. They were so supportive of everything we were doing, and I was like,
I was going to ask, did they know what was going to happen ahead of time?
I mean, thematically, hanging people is a thing.
Kind of their thing.
I mean, yeah, it's
I love that. And then,
but for Georgia, it's not allowed in Georgia, so unfortunately, they will not be hanging for this event particularly. But I was excited to see that it was legal in some of these other states, and so I'm excited as far as like if Hauntfest continues expanding out of state, like what kind of stuff we can do in each place.
Yeah.
I love it.
You coming to Maryland anytime soon? Even Virginia?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just recently did a bit of a quick study to see kind of who was interested in different states. And right now, I think Las Vegas is at the top of the interest.
Wow.
Of course.
So
that would be a hell of a
what
jump.
happens there. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. May need to move there for a few months and try to build something.
Yeah.
Your last Hauntfest was also your first multi-day event, accurate? Or had you done like Hauntfest 2?
So Hauntfest 1 was 1 day. Hauntfest 2, which was in Athens, was 2 days.
Yep.
And then this is our first 3-day. Wait, is that right? Yeah, this is our first 3-day Athens event. But the 2 out-of-state events were both 3 days.
We're both 3 days.
So we've done the 3-day thing before, but not in Athens.
Yeah. How's the multi-day events been working out? Are you seeing like consistent attendance across the event?
I'd say, I mean, Saturday's definitely the biggest day as far as, attendance goes. And Fridays, it's slower earlier in the day because people are just getting off work. It opens at 3 and then it picks up. It's crazy, like the different kinds of people that come each day. And like, I mean, Friday and Saturday is about the same, but Sunday, like people will come, bring their families and like spend the whole day out there. Whereas Friday and Saturday, I see a lot of coming and going.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely an interesting aspect to that. But we, every day is different for us too, depending on the shows and the activities offered. And there's vendors that come in and out, like they don't have to stay all 3 days. So you'll see different vendors as well.
Okay.
So definitely, if you want to see all the vendors, get the 3-day pass.
Get the 3-day pass.
Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And all the shows. Yeah.
Are you seeing a lot of, like, you don't have to be specific. What percentage of the people who are buying tickets are getting that 3-day pass versus just doing a day pass? Are you seeing a lot of repeat customers, or is it mostly one day?
It's honestly kind of all across the board. Right now, like pre-sale tickets, typically people buying those want to get like our RIP passes, which we're offering those again this year. And quick note, we have an exciting one this time because Terrapin, which is our venue, they're a brewery, they're offering like brewery walkthrough and beer tasting as part of an RIP pass you can get through us. So there's like, it's called the booze package. And then there's a merch package. And then there's the Sinister package that includes everything. So people buying in advance right now are mostly focused on getting those RIP passes. Because I guess they're really excited about the event to be buying this early, which means they're going to get all the good stuff, But yeah, I mean, I guess right now it's pretty across the board. It's hard to know. Students typically will just want to come for a day, but then there's people who are the real horror fanatics that are like, I'm going to be there all 3 days and party with them all 3 days, which we fully support.
Well, you're alluding to it a little bit, talking about how early people are buying tickets and such, but I don't think we've actually said it. When is Hauntfest this year?
Hauntfest is April 4th through 6th at Terrapin Beer Company in Athens, Georgia.
Terrapin.
So it's sneaking up.
Terrapin. I love
and it's called April Ghouls. It's I didn't even think about that with Terrapin. What the? That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terrapin. But what was I saying? It's all 3 days, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's going to be a blast.
It definitely.
But it's sneaking up. It's April Ghouls. It's on, that first weekend in April, so it's a play on April Fools. So don't be a fool. Be a fool.
And you've been kind of throwing out bits and pieces of it already, but I just want to talk about the ticket information real quick. So the RP passes you're talking about, I'm seeing a range of pricing here from 70 to 190. What's the range for?
So it depends on how many days you go. So if you just get one for one day, it's going to be more expensive per day versus getting all 3. So we try to encourage people to come all 3 days by doing that. And I think there's like details when you click into the tickets of like what % off you're getting by going all 3 days by getting a certain pass. Because we really want to make sure people understand like you are really getting a deal by getting this in advance. And you also get all these extra perks, if you get the RIP passes, which is much cheaper than if you were to buy them all separately.
Yeah,
for instance, like the merch package. If you go to the event and buy a t-shirt, it's going to be more expensive than if you just, get the package that includes everything already.
Yeah, and all I can tell our listeners is to click on the link in the show notes to take you to the Hauntfest website, because if I'm going to tell you what is in each of these packages, there's no way you're going to remember because there is so much. So go read it for yourselves. Choose which package makes the most sense for you. But there are 3 different RIP passes. There's the booze package, the merch package, and the Sinister package. The booze package, you get all of the perks for the festival. You get the haunted attraction tickets. You get the Terrapin Tasters with Tour.
Terrapin does good beer, especially if you like juicy IPAs.
Good to know. Good to know. An exclusive souvenir cup, the Terrapin koozie and sticker, as well as a Hauntfest poster. If you do the merch package, you get all those festival perks, the haunted attraction ticket, the Hauntfest poster, Hauntfest t-shirt, a raffle ticket each day, $5 values each, double scavenger hunt raffle chances, and don't forget to wear closed-toe shoes for the haunt, always. And then the Sinister package, all the festival perks, all booze and merch package perks, exclusive signed poster, signed by whom?
By the entertainers, all the bands. Got all the band names, and then they all sign them.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's awesome. A 30-minute early entry, priority parking, and you get to skip the line. So huge perks with these RIP passes.
Oh, yeah. And you can also get just the festival as a ticket, or you can get the festival and the haunted attraction, which we definitely suggest getting the haunted attraction. All of the RIP passes include that. But, just in case there's someone who, may not be able to go through the trail or whatever, we do like to offer this festival only, but definitely would suggest going through that. We have Lake Joy Trails of Terror from Kathleen, Georgia is coming in. They're a nonprofit. They donate to children in need, and they have the sickest haunt in Kathleen, and I know that they're going to bring their all to this event.
So they're like packing up
huge.
They're packing up their haunt and bringing it, or at least a part of it.
They're, I think, building sets there.
Ooh.
I think they're building like walls and stuff or something, and then they're going to bring all of that to Athens. I think they're like more than 2 hours away, so it's a lot of like pre-planning and then bringing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're awesome. They helped with us last year. They're they're just angels from heaven. I don't know what happened. This guy just called me last year and was like, "Hey, are you doing this event? We'd love to just come bring like 20 actors and build your haunt with you." And I was like, "Okay, what? Just come free?" Yeah, I was like, that's crazy.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, they've been super supportive. Love them to death, and it's going to be in a huge brewery warehouse indoors this time. So they'll have some more time in advance to build it. And, last year it was all in the woods, so it's like kind of awkward to hang stuff from trees, but this is like going to be the real deal. So we're very excited to have them back.
You were 9.5 hours from me. I don't know if I could justify that yet.
Yes, you can. Because I can't.
Get on down here.
Yeah, so that's the ticket information. Definitely check out the link in the show notes, and it will take you right to all of that information.
I want to talk about the fact that you don't want to wait until April for this, because you guys have something coming up that is, well, for all of you listeners who are catching it on day one, it's today. So tell us about the zombie pub crawl, because I was looking at that and I wish I could go, because it looks like you guys are also doing some makeup stuff with it. So not even just come as your own zombie, but we'll turn you into one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Wait, we're doing.
Go ahead. Leslie said something and it piques my interest.
Yeah. So we've been doing a couple promo events to get people kind of pumped up for the festival. And our first one was a Valentine's Day event, and it kind of cracks me up the name of it that we came up with, because we couldn't come up with a good enough name for Valentine's Day. But one of the workers at Terrapin and I were talking about planning the event or whatever, and I kept saying haunted trail, and I was like, I need to stop calling it that because it's a haunted attraction. And she goes, "That's it. Haunted attraction. That's what we need to call the Valentine's Day event." And so we ended up doing that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I never would have thought of that.
That took me a moment.
That took you too long.
Like, I'm too used to just hearing that in one context. I never have thought.
That's exactly where I got stuck.
Yeah.
Haunted attraction.
Yeah. So we did that. It was like a little trivia night.
Beautiful.
It was a way. Yeah. But it was a fun way to introduce people to the venue, because it was there. And now we're on to our second promo event, which is the zombie pub crawl. So for those who are not familiar with Athens, it's got a heavy bar scene. This is a college town. People go out at night, and there's tons of bars. And so I don't know if someone suggested this to me like a year ago, but I thought it was such a great idea. And just to get a group of people, like-minded people interested in Halloween, who want to go on a crazy, random, not in October pub crawl as a zombie.
My kind of people.
One of our vendors, they're called Masked Up's Face Paint, is coming and doing SFX makeup for the zombies. So when you get a ticket, they're I think $25 a ticket. It includes 5 drinks, so it's 5 different stops and 2 snacks. So 2 of the stops have snacks included.
That's $5 a drink.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, this is all like all these bars are considered sponsors for us because this is mainly just for us to get people excited, get people asking questions like why are there zombies downtown? To help spread the word.
College town.
Yeah.
50-50.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're excited to just kind of offer a fun little activity that's not, some crazy expensive bar night. It's just here's a deal, 5 drinks, 2 snacks, and you get the SFX makeup included in that. So
that alone is worth it.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. So you have to come a little bit earlier if you want to get the full makeup done. You have to arrive in some sort of ripped up clothes because I mean we have some we can bring, but like it's easy to cut up a shirt that you don't care about, and then
right.
And if you show up in your nice clothes, they're gonna cut it up for you.
Yeah. Rip
we'll
into
have extra scissors on hand.
Yeah, definitely. If you're interested in that event, it is tickets. Technically, I guess would be are closed today. But if you really want to go, like, just email us and let us know. Because I mean, we have
what time's it kicking off?
So if you want the makeup done, we suggest that you show up to the first bar, which is Bar South. I think I said 4 or 5 p.m. somewhere between 4 and 5 p.m. That's when they open.
Yeah.
So that the artists have time to get everybody because I know that they're going intense on the makeup. So if you don't want to do the makeup, there is an option to opt out. It explains on the website, but essentially there's a code you can type in. It takes off $5. And if you want to do your own makeup before you come, that's an option too. And then you can show up later, like right before the crawl rather than that early. So depends on what you want to do. If you're into doing your own makeup, that's cool too. You can still come and it'll be a little bit cheaper for you if you do your makeup in advance.
And it sounds like it's late enough in the day that if people are listening to this podcast on March 1st, you still have a chance to get down there and get to the zombie pub crawl.
Yeah. Just make sure to let us know ASAP because there's not a guarantee that I can get you in there, but we'd love to have you.
The code if you want to do your own makeup, it's very, very complicated. It's no makeup.
I don't know if I'll remember that.
Yeah. I was trying to remember it, but that is actually super simple.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the zombie pub crawl happening now, and then a month from now, we're actually kicking off Hauntfest itself, April Ghouls.
Oh yeah, the real deal
on April 4th. So let's start with the music lineup. What do you have planned for the music festival so far?
So applications are currently still open until March.
You're a month out. They're still open.
I know. Listen, all right. In the past, I have come to the understanding that there's a lot of entertainers that don't like to do anything until last minute. And so I like to, at least in Athens, because it is a college town, they're all students, I try to give them as much opportunity as possible to apply because we do like to highlight bands, like local bands and new bands, that are fun and interesting to help, advertise them to the world. Mm-hmm. And so that's why it goes so late. But at this point, we have over 70 applications for this event. So in the future, we'll probably be shutting that off a lot sooner. But I've been advertising March 8th for this year. So if you would like to apply, we have until March 8th. And then very soon after that, we'll be shooting off all the emails of, we're accepted or not. And then we'll move on from there. But yeah, so I don't have any specifics for you right now, unfortunately.
How many bands are you accepting?
We typically do around 6 per day.
Okay.
So it also depends on, the length of the sets. When you go to apply, you can say, your minimum or maximum length that you would like to play. So we'll take that into consideration. But I would say about 6 bands per day.
So it sounds like there's going to be some fierce competition.
Yes.
If you've got 70 bands already signed up.
And you're only filling 18.
Yep. Yeah. It's a lot of reviewing. There's a lot that goes into this. And, I want any entertainer out there to know that, you you're all great, and if you're not accepted, it's not because you're not great. It's just there's so many
You're
applicants.
filling
There's a lot to
18
consider.
slots with 70
Yeah.
applicants. I mean,
Yeah.
the math just
What-
doesn't work out that so everyone gets to play.
How do you
Yeah.
choose? Like, what is important to you when you're making these selections?
I'd say, well, there's a few things. One is just, overall talent. There's overall like a rating, depending on, I guess how experienced you are as a musician, and if you obviously. And then one is, I love creativity. There's a question in the application that asks what kind of costume they would wear to the event, because we like to have our bands be themed in some way, and usually that is accompanied by costumes. So I do kind of I do look at that, and I'm like, are these people really into this event, or are they just here to play?
Yeah.
And then another thing is, or it has been in the past, I don't know if it will be as much this time, but like if you have a good following in an area, and it may not just be Athens. Like we do consider, if someone has a big following and they're from Atlanta, then maybe that'll get people from Atlanta to come to the event.
Sure.
And so that's
Yeah.
something that we consider, but it's not like at this point we have the people coming to this event. So like that doesn't matter as much, like I said, but
Yeah.
we do look at all that, but yeah, and there's descriptions as well of the bands, and like to support the up and coming a lot. So that's another consideration. Yeah. A lot of different angles to go at.
No kidding. No
But that's
kidding.
awesome because again, you've got 70 bands and you're not just basing it on one criteria. So you've got a lot of options to choose from, and it really gives each of those 70 bands a good shot at that evaluation to be able to play. And if not this year, then next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say too, the bands who have volunteered with us before, we do, tend to look at that, if they haven't been paid through Hauntfest before, but they helped support us before, that is something that we consider as well, because we love our volunteers. We couldn't have done it without them to start this event in the first place. So
Sure.
we really appreciate them for that and would love to support them further.
Yeah, give
Yeah.
back to the ones who have helped you in the past.
Oh yeah.
Love it. Love it. So, festival, much to come on the festival as you go through all that application process over the next, starting about a week from now. Bands, you got another week to get your applications in. But beyond...
Yes, bands and any other entertainers. So if
That's
you're like
exactly where I
juggler,
wanted to go.
Yeah, sorry.
But before we get into it, let's take a moment, hear from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with Roseann Harpold hearing more about Hauntfest. What other types of entertainers are you seeing so far? Not saying that will be there, but like that you're seeing applications for.
We've been getting like a lot of circusy acts. There's magicians. There's actually puppeteer that is really fun and interesting. He's got some quite like vintage looking, so very creepy looking puppets.
Are we
which work
talking
really well.
like creepy ass ventriloquist doll type things, or
Pinocchio style.
I'd say Pinocchio style, yeah, like with the
Nice.
string puppets.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
he does shows, and so that may be something good for like a Sunday family friendly event
Yeah.
day. But
Yes.
there's a lot to consider with all those too. There's quite a variety of people coming in, but fire performers, that's another thing. But yeah, the circus
puppets
groups
are
that
family
sign up, they
friendly.
have all sorts of offerings. Like they do juggling, they do fire. Like I don't think I've seen sword swallowing yet, but that's something that if you do that, I'm always looking for that because I love the freak show aspect for like this kind of event.
Yeah. Are you guys still taking applications then as well for your entertainer, for all of your other acts?
Yeah, so the date for entertainer applications includes both musicians and non-musicians, and they're on the same page. It's the entertainment page of the website. And there's a button whether it's a non-musical performer or a musical performer. But yeah, those are both, and I think it's 11:59 p.m. on March 8th.
Okay. So again, entertainers, you've got a little bit more time in to send in your application to do this. And again, it's a 3-day event, and it sounds like you've got some flexibility in terms of, don't have to go for all 3 days, which is also kind of nice as a performer, especially if you're amateur just trying to get started, to know that you've got some flexibility there and you don't have to necessarily block off a full weekend. Okay, so while he's out looking up sword swallowers, and jokes just abound. Tell me about some of the vendors you have.
All right. So we have a lot of returning vendors, which we love to see. And some of my favorites are like the activity ones, such as the Georgia Reptile Society's coming back and
Oh,
bringing all
yay!
the snakes. Love them. And Athens Cat Foster Program is bringing all their kittens in Halloween costumes again. So love them. Let's see. Just so you know, if you're listening to this and would like to see the extensive list of every vendor and links to their websites, if you go to the Georgia page at hauntfest.net and scroll down, they're all linked right there with all their names, and you can check out all their stuff individually. But yeah, lots of, let's see, Wicked World, which has been there since day one. She's incredible. Bettina is her name. She does all sorts of taxidermy, wet specimens, very spooky, awesome booth. And she does like the Oddities and Curiosities Expo every year. Gonzorific, they make B movies. They're like horror movies.
I
that
love
they
it.
make at home.
Yowtastic Magical Emporium.
Oh yes,
I'm
yeah.
just reading through
Lots
some of
of
these names, and these
yeah.
names just alone are
There's
great.
some ones in here for sure.
There was one, it was Liquid Octopus, was another one that caught my
Yeah.
eye.
They do like prosthetic teeth too. They just started making those, and
Oh, cool.
I was talking to them at our last event, and they have experience. I think they were working for Universal Studios at some point, doing like, I don't know what you call it, not SFX, but the effects like with the teeth and stuff, and they
Prosthetic
do
effects.
yeah, they do
Something
all
like
sorts
that.
of cool artsy things, like even for movies and stuff. So they're a really cool booth to visit. And yeah, this is the first time we have like SFX artists coming. We've had face painting before, but this is a new exciting thing. If you want to go get spookified at the event, like that masked up face paint that I mentioned before, that's doing this stuff. We've got burgers with Cafe Racer again, and we've got tacos from, let's see, it's a Texas name. Trying to find it. I don't want to get it wrong. They're new. You see it on there?
I'm looking for
Oh my
tacos.
gosh. Texas something
Lone
something.
Star Tacos. I got Joe's
Oh,
Lone Star
yes.
Tacos.
Okay, yeah. Lone Star Tacos, yes. So they'll be coming. Yeah, there's quite an extensive list, and they're all quite a bit different. So, like I said, if you're interested in learning more about them, we also post highlights almost every day for a new vendor each day. So if you go to our social media, at hauntfest.athens is our Instagram, and then Facebook is just Hauntfest LLC. But we post, like I said, almost daily, all of our vendors, so you can see just pictures and descriptions of the stuff they'll be bringing.
Ooh, some of these, Flower in the Attic, they've got some really, really cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just looking at these Instagrams. So on the Georgia page where you can scroll down and it lists everything, a lot of these are linking to Instagram pages and things like that. And, what I'm seeing, I absolutely love. And on top of all of that, almost all these Instagram pages also have pet pictures. So we know they're good people.
Yeah. Yeah, I know there's one in particular. I can't remember exactly which booth. They have a dog that they bring that is just the most gorgeous dog. And there's a picture of Ari Lehman from last year, the first Jason from the Friday the 13th franchise, with the dog. And I think it's on our website somewhere, but
Nice.
we love the animals for sure. Yeah. And then Tales from the Gas Station is also another big one. Big shot author coming, and every time he comes to one of our events, we get all sorts of messages from his fans. Like, his fan base comes from all over to come see him and get books signed. So if you haven't read Tales from the Gas Station, it's an incredible series. You should definitely check it out.
I have not, but I'm intrigued now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I keep looking things up because I have to, because I can't go see. I can't go, so I have to go see.
Yeah.
I have to rely on the interwebs.
Oh, yes.
So again,
Yeah,
don't
and,
be like me. Go, don't miss out.
Yes. But yeah, we also have some student artists that come and they do spooky stuff. And I will say, if you're a student, or I mean, you don't have to be a student for this, but if you'd rather have like a smaller booth, like just a table versus a 10 by 10 section, there is an option in the application for vendors where you can split a booth with someone, and it'll like split the payment online already. You just have to say who you're going to be splitting with, and they also submit an application, say the same thing. So if if it's too expensive for you, or if you just want to have a bunch of friends get together that all do spooky art and you can share 10 by 10 space, that is an option as well. And those applications don't close until like really close to the event, unless we hit a vendor cap, which we might. So get your applications in soon if you're interested.
You mentioned you're doing this at Terrapin Brewery.
Mhm.
Is like the vendor floor all inside the brewery, or do they have other space around it?
So the vendor space is actually outdoors. It's all this, there's this huge outdoor field outside of Terrapin that's super flat, so it's perfect for booth setup. And that will be where our vendors are set up, except for I believe the kittens will be inside away from the music and such, just
Reasonable.
for safety purposes. But yeah, the tap room is gonna be open to just kinda chill, hang out. We may have some solo artists or something in there, and that's where we'll do, like, costume contests and trivia, and then outside will be all the live bands, all the vendors and activities and shows like that.
The occasional fire breathing, probably outdoors.
Of course. Yeah. And then the haunted trail is actually it's on site, but it's, like, kinda behind the brewery building. So we'll have
Oh,
signs and
okay.
stuff to direct you because it is a separate warehouse. It's not attached
Yeah.
to the building.
Okay.
But yeah.
Owned by Terrapin or another?
Yes, it is a Terrapin space. I think
Yeah.
they've just been using it for storage for a while, and now
Sure.
we're really putting some real use to it for this event.
Heck yeah! Oh my gosh, this sounds freaking perfect.
Yeah.
I did find the one I was looking for. Hell's a Poppin' is a circus sideshow review that I got to see perform at Fear Expo last year. They had Short E Dangerously, who is literally half a person. Like he has no leg. He was born without legs, and the stuff that he does is absolutely phenomenal. Like the arm strength of this man is unbelievable.
Oh, I remember you sent us. Yeah, I remember pictures you sent.
Yeah,
Of,
but they had a sword swallower and fire breathers and a guy who like stuck nails and things through himself and made a
Mhm.
corn. What do you call a little piece of corn before it pops?
Colonel.
Kernel. That's the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for.
Colonel?
Oh, it's late. Yeah, he stuck a corn kernel up his nose and pulled it out his eye. Like it was absolutely freaking
Whoa.
wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But anyway, maybe something to look into. I dropped a link for you in the chat if you are so interested.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely look into them. That sounds interesting.
They were solid. It was a really fun show.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to click it, but it's doing some weird thing on my side.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
that's
Hell's a
uncommon.
Poppin'. That's a
Hell's
fun
a
name.
Poppin'. I'll put it in the show notes as well, so all of our listeners can check them out as well.
Sweet. Hey, they're in Ripley's Believe It or Not.
They are in Ripley's Believe It or Not, exactly.
Mhm.
So we've talked entertainers, we've talked vendors, we've talked some of the other entertainment attractions that are going to be there, like the haunted attraction. What are we forgetting?
Let's see. Just a few things to remember.
Important.
I know I mentioned that one vendor has a dog. But that is the only exception as far as bringing animals. Okay, please do not bring your animals, your pets. It's just not going to be a good place for them, unless if there's a medical reason. That's a different situation. But
Service animals are always acceptable.
yes, but it's going to be loud, and we have spooks that walk around. Just to remind everyone, we do have roaming, scary people that will scare you while you're there. So if you have like your
Still
dog,
haunted.
yeah. Yeah, we don't want any accidents there in that realm.
Has it been a problem in the past?
It has not, but also we always have this message for people.
Yeah.
So we have not had that issue yet. But yeah, also consider like we do have other animals that are part of the event that could be spooked by.
Reptiles and your cats and all of
The
your
snakes
rescues.
don't want to see your pets. Yeah.
Yeah. So just all in all, please leave your pets at home if you can, and wear closed-toed shoes. For
Yeah.
the haunt and everything, because you never know what might come out and try to bite your toes.
You will not be allowed to go back in and find your lost flip flop
Yeah, or toes.
or toes.
Yeah.
No toes for you. No toes for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. There's always something.
Yeah, can we talk logistics for a sec?
Yeah.
Like how do you get there, parking, those kind of things?
So Terrapin is at, I think it's 265 Newton Bridge Road, and I will double check that real quick.
I'm going to be super
Yeah,
impressed if you have that
265
off the
Newton
top of your
Bridge
head.
Road.
Well done.
I've been typing it a lot. Yeah, and if you want to check out their website, on the Georgia page, there's their logo next to the address, and you can click that. It'll take you there. But there is some parking on site. We are going to have to do a little bit of maneuvering. There may be a few separate lots that will be directing people in. but we should have you covered. So when you show up, there'll be a parking attendant that can help direct you to which lot you go into. And there is, of course, if you're handicapped, please let us know and we'll direct you to the front. And if you get that Sinister package, that also comes with priority parking. So
Solid.
that will be much closer to the entrance if you're worried about needing to walk too far because of the parking situation. But like I said, it's all on site. There's no trolleys or anything this time, which will be nice. It is in like industrial part of town, so it may seem strange when you're driving there, but it is the right place, I swear.
That's hysterical. I did want to ask about that. Like, I remember you ran into this group of people who like owned a ranch or something at a hibachi place, and that offered to do like, wagon rides for you. Did it work out? Like, was it helpful? Or was it complex?
We that for whatever reason that fell through, unfortunately.
Oh no!
Very excited about that, but they were busy or something happened. I don't remember exactly what happened,
Reasonable.
but did end up seeing a hayride going. It was a last minute scramble, but we made it happen. There was, I think it was a trailer, and we went and picked up some hay from some random farm on the way. They were like, "Yeah, we'll sell it to you for $5 a bale." We're like, "Okay,
done.
Thank you."
Done.
Yeah, done. Exactly. But that ended up being a sweet little thing to get people to and from their cars. So I'm really glad that we did that because it looked like a fun little ride just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, it's too bad that fell through because I absolutely adored that story. That was wonderful.
Yeah, I know. It is a good story, but unfortunate. Maybe one day they'll show back up at another hibachi restaurant and we'll have this whole experience again.
How about volunteers? You still looking for volunteers or people to assist with actually operating the event?
Yes, I need to like really get down and figure out exactly how many people we need because this is one of our larger events. So we've got to figure out, parking attendance, ticket attendance are like a big one because we want to get people through that line as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always a line. Yeah. So if you're an organized person, that's a great job for you. Parking, it's pretty simple. You're just going to be pointing to empty spots, But yeah, if you volunteer with us, we've got a great crew of people. They're all fantastic, and it's a fun time. You can stay, hang out, party with us, and it's a great time. That's all I have to say. I actually had someone volunteer at our last event who I don't get this the same way that he gets it because I've been just building this thing and like this is a whole different experience for me. But he came to me after and was like, "This experience changed my life." Like working with you guys and meeting these people and realizing that there's people out there like you all and that there's, fun things like this that you can get together and build these relationships. And he spent all weekend with us and he wrote like a very sweet letter and everything. And he even went on LinkedIn and wrote a whole story about like his experience with us. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I do want to say for some of our volunteers, it does mean a lot. And, we love to have you. We're a very supportive group of people. So please do come if you're interested in that. So if you would like to volunteer on the job applications page at hauntfest.net, you can select whether you'd like to volunteer as a scare actor or be event staff. We're doing some paid, some volunteer. There's an option in the application. You can say volunteer only if you just, are there to have a good time and help out, or you can do paid only or paid or volunteer if paid is unavailable. So totally up to you the way you decide to apply. But like I said, it's more of just a fun time for everybody to come enjoy.
And there are some perks of being a volunteer. You get a free weekend event pass. There's plenty of community building, as you have just mentioned, and a refreshment station to make sure that you are fully charged for the event.
Exactly. Yep.
Love that.
Definitely come hang. And Lake Joy Trails of Terror, that's doing the haunted attraction, they're kind of handling the scare actors that are wanting to get involved in that. You still apply through us, so just go through select scare actor and they have access to the application. So just know it may not be me that you're talking to if you're a scare actor immediately because they're going through and have their own plans for inside, but you can also free roam in the festival. So whichever, that's another choice you can make is if you want to get involved in the actual haunted attraction or if you just want to stay in the fest the whole time, do a little bit of both. But that's always a blast. If you're into scaring people, this is the best time to do
it. How many other places are going to get you to scare people in April too? Like,
exactly.
this is a perfect time to refine some new skills, learn some new skills, put it to practice before we get to haunt season.
Absolutely.
I see also, I clicked on the link, the volunteer perks link on your website. And I also see a thing about sponsorship on here. Are you still looking for sponsors?
We are always looking for sponsors. So it doesn't matter what kind of business you are, there is always a way to contribute. So whether it's just, straight up money, which is typically not the way we go about things, but we love money too. That helps buy like volunteer food and you just have a gift card for your business that you want to donate to a sponsor basket. We do a scavenger hunt for our vendors. So any vendor who donates to the scavenger hunt will be or to the prize will be part of the scavenger hunt. And along with that, there will be other sponsor prizes in this basket. So it's like a raffle basket, but we have plenty of prizes that we do for costume contests, for trivia. We need lots of like little stuff for teams of 6 or more, or 6 or less for that.
Yeah.
So anything like that you'd like to donate, or cases of water, food for volunteers. And like I said, for the zombie pub crawl, they're all considered sponsors because they're giving us a deal on the drinks for this pub crawl. So there's always a fun way to get involved, and it doesn't just have to be straight up, a cash donation.
Yeah.
Which
And I know
I'm not going to turn that down either. But
always,
yeah.
cash is king. And I know we promised this last year and completely dropped the ball, but I do want to put together a like Haunting You merch package for you and actually send it this year. So if you would give me an address to send that to, I have it now instead of Leslie, so I guarantee it will not fall through.
I am terrible at shipping things.
I'm giving Les a look.
I deserve it.
But yeah, send me your address and I'll send you like t-shirts and stickers and whatever else I have from our last conference.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate it, you guys. You've been so supportive this whole time, and oh yeah, that's another way too is doing a podcast. Any way to get our name out there is another way to sponsor, just in case any of you listening work for a radio station or anything like that. That is a great way to sponsor, because the more, we can talk about this and get it known, the bigger this event will grow.
Actually, on that note,
yeah.
The Big Scary Show, largest haunted attraction podcast in the country, does like free event announcements in every episode. Let me get you their contact information, because if you just email your event info, they will put it in their on their next episode for free.
Sweet.
And they put out episodes a lot more frequently than we do.
A lot more frequently.
And we love the Big Scary Show. They're amazing.
They are amazing. Drew Badger is my hero. And Drew, if you ever listen to this, I want you to know that you are my hero.
100%.
That's awesome. But yeah, I do want to let you guys know how much I appreciate your continued support, and this is awesome that you've stayed along with me through this journey, and you guys are great.
It's been a fun journey to watch, and I just wish we were closer so that we could participate more. But even the little bit that we're able to do, I'm having so much fun watching you succeed. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, maybe we'll crawl our way up there at some point.
Please crawl your way up here. I also run I have a jelly ball business. I would love to come do jelly ball at Hauntfest.
Yeah, Lake Joy did for one of our previous events bring a little shooting range for that. That stuff is so fun.
It's so much fun. Absolutely so much fun. So yeah, if you get like up to the Virginia, even northern North Carolina, I could probably make it work.
All right. Yeah, I'll keep that noted and make sure you guys are aware.
Yeah, keep it in mind as you're planning out your next. Speaking of which, are you looking at other events this year outside of Georgia?
So
maybe
this has not been like officially announced, but I'll talk about it because it's all very
exclusive.
New. So I just graduated December 13th. It was a Friday the 13th.
Congratulations!
Thank you. It was actually during our Christmas event. So I missed graduation. I was at Hauntfest, but where
it's appropriate.
Be on Friday the 13th.
Celebrate. Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, since then I've discovered some opportunities through UGA to get funding or pitch for funding at least and do these competitions. And so I've been doing a lot of pitch competitions lately to see what kind of funding I can build up to expand farther and go out of state, because there's a lot of just, startup costs that are associated with travel.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so I did manage to secure some funding. So I am looking into one or possibly two new target states for 2025.
Ooh.
But like I briefly mentioned this earlier, but I did a quick 1-day test of 10 states, I think 2 days ago, or
When you
I guess
say,
when this
when you
comes out,
say
it'll be a
test,
little
what
later.
does that mean?
So I I post to gauge interest. Like I basically bought ads.
Okay.
And posted them in the different states. It was like I had a target city in each of the states and went 50 miles out of that city.
Yeah.
And then determined how many people would be interested in us coming.
But just based on engagement with your ad.
Yes.
Right.
And so from that, right now, the most engagement was from Las Vegas. And then, let's see, I actually have this pulled up here. The second most was Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
What?
And yeah. And then Denver.
Weirdos.
I thought that was so random, but I don't know enough about.
Do you
about
do you know who
Milwaukee,
happens to be in Denver, Colorado?
Hey, it's coming up.
Yeah,
Maybe
Les and John are in
perhaps.
Denver, and I will happily that's home. I will happily go back to Denver for stuff.
Yeah. So I'll look at these new areas and see how much we can do, how quickly, because it does take a lot to build these up. So it may be that this year I can only hit Las Vegas or one of them. But the goal is 2. But we'll see what happens. Because I'll
If
kind of
Denver
out there.
if Denver hits your list,
yeah,
Don and I are out here. Kay will come out here. There's lots of weirdos out
Yeah,
here.
hit us up because
And-
we want to help.
Well, that'd be great. Hey, if you guys have a bunch of connections in Denver, that already kind of bumps it up, more than the other states, because I have no other information.
I mean, I have connections in
these other states.
Maryland, but
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll definitely, be in touch, because I would really like to go to Denver, and I keep wanting there to be more reasons for me to go there.
yeah, legit. Although if you're doing one in Vegas, you may want to spread it out a little bit more than Nevada and Colorado, almost next to each other.
One side of the Rockies, the other side of the Rockies.
Yeah.
I mean,
all
you'll
of
get
the
your Californians, and then you'll get your everybody else's.
Yeah. All of the states that I was testing, they're all about 8 hours drive from each other, each city. So hopefully that'll be okay. I'm not entirely sure, but I know when
that's a day's drive, no problem.
Yeah. When I did North and South Carolina, I do think they were too close, those two events.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely trying to spread out a bit, but it's going to be a learning experience. It's going to be crazy. I'm just going to be thrown in random places. That's how it goes. But yeah, so that's the update for anyone who is curious.
Well, our fingers are crossed, and I cannot wait to hear the official announcements when you get to it. Can I pick your brain for a moment, though?
Yeah.
We talk about the pitch a lot because every time we try to go do a haunted house, we need funding, we need location, we need to convince my captain to let me turn our warship into a haunted house. And so we have dedicated whole episodes to talking about the pitch. And I would love to hear your perspective on what makes a good pitch when you were trying to secure this funding.
I think it really depends who you're pitching to. So as far as who do you pitch to for these? Because these are all quite different things.
They are indeed quite different things, and it's often
that's
the
actually
owners of a venue or sponsors that I want to help support the haunt I'm building.
Yeah,
those are my two big ones.
But what you said right there, that's actually something that we've talked about a lot when we talk about pitches. It's who is your audience?
Know your audience and pitch to the audience
and tailor, because pitching to your captain of your
pitching to the
ship
captain of my ship is very different than pitching to the owner of the golf course that I want to build a haunt at.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just from a business mindset, of course, you probably already know this, but just finding out how does this benefit them, and really leaning into that. And you're kind of the afterthought of also this benefits us, but really this is what will be good for you. And this is why it's important that we're here. And this is a collaborative thing, or, depending on what you're talking about. Like for my pitches, because it was for funding, they're not technically investors because they're not taking a percent of the company. It's
Sure.
more of like because it's through the school, it's just a fund.
Mhm.
But, when pitching to investors, you have to prove that your business is viable and that it will grow. And so I had to focus a lot on the growth, like in Athens, from year 1 to year 2, and our projections for this year, and the future of expansion and all that, and how much this will grow. Because if I were pitching to investors taking a percent, they want to see that growth.
They make a big
They-
So
they
it
want a
all is
return.
just totally tailored to who you're talking to,
Yeah.
because I would pitch completely differently if it was for, a venue or, sponsor. Because, sometimes, like for sponsors, it's almost counterintuitive to talk about growth when you're talking to a sponsor.
Mhm.
Because it's like, we need your help. But, if you say, oh, we're doing so well that, we're making all this money and racking in all these funds, then they're going to be like, oh, you don't need us.
You don't really need our help. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it really just depends, but really just finding that need, what they want to hear. And because you always will have something to say that's going to be positive. It's just how you say it and like, how you build your argument.
Yeah, and focusing on the benefit to the person you're pitching to, because
Yeah.
what makes it worth their while.
Mhm.
That's what
Hooks them.
Yeah. Which, yeah, like I said, I'm sure you know this. I'm not sure if I can really bring.
I
Too
want
much
our
new
listeners to
insight here,
hear
but-
someone else say it, because like we can say it all we want, but if someone else is saying the exact same thing we're saying, like that's credence.
Well, especially because
we
you're
kind of know what we're talking
you-
about.
well, and
occasionally.
you've pitched to get funds. We've
Mm-hmm.
pitched for, hi, can we take the $5 and a shoestring that we have in the closet and build a haunted house on your boat? Very, very
Yeah.
different
It is a very different pitch.
than,
Yeah.
hi, I'm requesting funds to do X, and here's why.
Mhm.
So, again, to our listeners, we're not crazy. I mean, we are, but in a completely different fashion than
Yeah.
in this particular sense. Because it is all about, who's your audience, what is your goals, and making sure that what you're pitching tailors to, who your audience is and what their goals are going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
you heard
but
it
that's
here from
cool.
Roseann Harpold herself.
Oh yeah.
Work on your pitches.
Yeah.
Okay. So zombie pub crawls tonight. You are kicking off Hauntfest April 4th to the 6th in Athens, Georgia. We have talked about all of the exciting things that are happening at Hauntfest April 4th to the 6th in Athens, Georgia. And we've even talked about what may be coming after April as the rest of 2025 continues to unravel. Hopefully we'll hear more. And of course, definitely go check out the Hunting You webpage, our events page. We have links to Hauntfest. And as we hear more about other events that Hauntfest is putting on this year, they will all end up on that page as well. So check out our website and you can definitely keep up with everything Hauntfest has going on. If you want to see Hauntfest directly, though, go check out hauntfest.net. And you want to give a shout out for your social medias?
Yeah, so again, Instagram is at hauntfest.athens and Facebook is Hauntfest LLC, but there's also a group called Hauntfest Georgia. And depending on if we go out of state again, they're all going to be Hauntfest and then whatever the state is. So if you want to join your state's group when that happens outside of Georgia, that is how you would find that.
And the easiest way to get links to all of those, hauntfest.net.
Oh, yeah.
Which you will find in our show notes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because we're organized and helpful.
Yeah. That might be giving us too much credit.
Okay, my apologies. Don't give us too much credit.
When we're 20 days late of when we actually intended to record this episode. Organized might be too much of a stretch right now.
Hey, we're not organized.
We are not.
It just sounds like you have a lot stacked against you, so maybe you are organized.
We have a lot stacked against us. Yes. I'm hoping it will calm down at some point, but it's not. It's just not.
No.
Roseann, thank you so much for taking the time out to come in and talk with us. It is always a pleasure to have you here, and we are so excited to see how Hauntfest 3 ends up working out in just over a month.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for having me. It's always fun chatting with you guys.
That was a blast.
I love that this is Hauntfest is taking off the way it is.
I do too.
I love it. It's beautiful.
It's such a unique like type of event compared to everything else that we do. It's not a conference, it's not a trade show, it's a music festival and a conference and a haunted house, and like there's so much to it. I love it. I cannot wait to go. One of these needs to be close enough to us. And I was looking at my schedule trying to say, like, it's only 9.5 hours. I could make that work, except that I've already got a Jelly Ball event booked for that Saturday, and it's a big event, so I'm like, dang it.
Yeah, that won't work so much there.
Not so much, but that's okay. We already mentioned it. Go check out Hauntfest at hauntfest.net. You'll get all of the details, and if you are in the area, even in the vicinity, go check it out, because it looks like it's going to be an absolute blast.
Again, for year number 3.
Exactly. I think that about wraps it up for this episode of the Haunting You podcast. If you want to find any of our other episodes, please go check out our website at hauntingyou.com. We're on top of, just finding our entire, what do we call it, library of episodes. Yeah. You can also find the Haunting You method, the method that we use to build all of our haunts. We have the Hunter's Ghoul Box, which is links to really helpful tools to help you build your own haunts. Check out our partners page, which offers discounts from really awesome vendors that we love to work with, and they are willing to offer discounts to all of our listeners. Check out that partners page. Check out the events page, which has every single convention, trade show, haunt festival that we know of is up on that event page. Help you plan your 2025 by going to hauntingyou.com and the events page. And of course, if you want to get your word out to the haunted attraction industry, we are a great way to do that. And I can pretty much guarantee we are the most inexpensive way to do that. So if you want to, check out our sponsor page, and it will tell you a whole bunch of different ways that we can help you get your message out to the industry in a variety of different ways. And of course, check out our socials on Instagram at Haunting University, Facebook.com/HauntingYou, and YouTube at Haunting You, just the letter U. You can find all of the things that we are doing as we prepare for the 2025 haunt season. We actually started our planning process for the 25 haunt season about a week and a half ago. And that was when Leslie's Wi-Fi just randomly decided to die in the middle of the call. So we put it on hold. We put a pin in it, and we're coming back to it shortly, I hope.
Yes.
Looking at Les.
My internet's working.
Your internet is working. It lasted the entirety of this episode, so I am encouraged.
Hi, Kaylee. Yes.
Leslie has puppies that need attention, and I
have a freckly nose.
Indeed. You have puppies that need attention, and I have uniforms that need ironing, so I think we call it a night.
I win that game.
You definitely win that game.
I win that game by a lot.
By a lot. Yeah. Les, take us out.
Well, for all of us here at Haunting You, and John, we missed you. And hopefully everybody's feeling better.
Sorry, your son's not feeling good.
Yep, hopefully he's
He is the second one of my friends that ended up with a sick child today. Crackers ended up leaving work early because her son threw up at daycare.
Oh.
Like, ooh.
Yeah,
thing. That's a bad day every time.
Yeah, that's a bad day every day.
Yeah, so stay healthy out there. We hope wash your hands thoroughly and turn your kids away from you when they start coughing.
You teach them to do what I've been doing the entire episode, because I sound like death, which is appropriate.
Yes,
and I have my lovely
sounded like death
cough.
on the Death podcast.
It works, but tell them to put their face in their elbow for their coughs and their sneezes.
I have actually been very impressed, like all of the coughing that you're doing, because I can visually see it, but I have heard nothing. So I don't know if you are like deliberately muting
myself.
I'm impressed that how thoroughly you have been muting yourself. Well done.
I am. It's not as bad as it's been in past colds where I have absolutely no control over it. I have enough control over when it's like, okay, I know I'm going to need to cough, so I go hit the mute button, and then I cough, and then I hit.
It would not have been a full episode of Haunting You unless you failed on that at least once.
Of course. Ow.
Indeed. But let's call. Yeah, we're gonna walk away now so that you can go cough in peace.
Thank you. I'll go die now.
Okay. From all of us here at Haunting You, go check out a local convention. And in the meantime, happy haunting.
Bye, everybody.
We are incredibly thankful to all the sponsors who make this show possible, particularly our premium sponsors, the Chamber of Haunters and Fear Expo. You can learn more at chamberofhaunters.com and fearexpolive.com. Check out the Haunting You podcast at hauntingyou.com for more information on everything that we do. Haunting You is a production of the Rocky Mountain Home Haunters, LLC. All audio clips and sound effects are used under a Creative Commons Attribution or public domain license from Purple Planet Music at purple-planet.com or the Sound Bible at soundbible.com. Please see the show notes for more information on all the clips used in this episode.